Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dan Gazaway, your mental performance coach. Today I wanted to talk about something very profound. It's playing to win, not to avoid mistakes. A few days ago I was working with a gymnast on her mental performance, and we were talking about how to eliminate negative stories and reframing them. She told me that she was working on a new skill on the bars, and the story that she was telling herself was that I'm too scared to do it. That's the story she was telling herself. And after walking her through a few questions to help her find the real story, she simply said, well, maybe I'm just not going all in. And we continued to have a great conversation after that. But you see, most athletes don't underperform because they lack talent. They underperform because they're playing not to mess up, and they're playing it safe. We see this all the time in the athletic world. They step onto the field, or in this case with the gymnast on the bars, worried about how they're going to look, what their coach is thinking, how their parents are going to react, or how teammates might judge them. So instead of competing freely, they play cautious, they play it safe. But here's the truth, you guys. When you play scared, you're going to shrink and play small. And playing it safe might protect your ego at the moment, but it also limits your growth. It limits the impact that you're going to make on the team that day. So I want you to remember this. You don't get better by avoiding the mistakes. Again, we don't want to make errors, but you get better by being willing to make those mistakes and learn quickly. Now, we've all heard this from Michael Jordan. What he said, he's like, I fell over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. That is one of the most quoted quotes. Jordan didn't become great because he avoided failure. He became great because he was willing to risk failure in pursuit of excellence, in pursuit of winning. So elite athletes, they understand this. They know that growth lives just beyond their comfort zone. So every breakthrough, every clutch moment, every highlight, every step forward that they're taking comes from their willingness to take a calculated risk. And I want you to think about that for yourself. This doesn't mean being reckless, of course. It means competing with purpose. And many times athletes ask themselves, well, what if I mess up? We've all heard this. We've all thought that. Instead of asking a better question like this, how can I fully commit to this moment right now? That question actually changes everything. It shifts your focus from fear to aggressive, confident action, and it forces present moment focus. So sometimes that means taking the shot. Sometimes it means attacking instead of reacting. Sometimes it means better communication. Sometimes it looks like hustle or bringing energy when things necessarily aren't going your way, which a lot of times that happens. So my invitation is, in your next practice, in your next game, commit to one smart, small risk. One moment where you choose taking action instead of seeking comfort. And I don't want you to judge yourself by the outcomes anymore. Judge yourself by the decision you made to compete, not to play safe. And remember, the athletes who grow the most aren't the ones who play perfectly. They're the ones who play with purpose. They're the ones that play with intent. They choose to take a risk instead of playing it safe. So remember, play to win, not to avoid mistakes. Make it a great day.